is about to get going again. We're back with the 5+1, the second half of the 5+1, and James, I was gonna say maybe it's more E3 B3, but no, it's a transposition to the Sicilian again. And here we go, back to this old line.
And again, the Kopek system type of line, it's very easy to play. You just put the bishop on D3, back it up to C2, you castle, and sometimes you play D4, you play D3. It's kind of whatever you like to do here. But they're going down sort of the same line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same exact thing so far that we saw a bit earlier, where Hikaru was bringing his knight over via F1 to G3, but that's not happened yet. Wesley in that game was hesitating to castle. We saw both sides just not commit their kings too early, but that was the game that Wesley probably should have won. Got a big advantage, won a pawn, and couldn't convert. So maybe we'll see Hikaru try to make the first improvement.
Yeah, actually, this was all he castled first. I think, did he go bishop F4 in the last game?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah, he went bishop F4. So bishop F4 allowed knight H5. So now he's just, okay, you know what? I'll chill. Let's do something different. He goes rook E1. Very slow type of play here. Something that you don't always see in a Sicilian here from white side standpoint. Usually you'll see more aggressive options, or you can play it very positionally, as we see Hikaru playing here now. So maybe an E5, D4 at some point, bishop D2. I mean, it's kind of whatever you like. Knight H4 is very tempting too, but I think that just gets answered with bishop H7.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe that's still possible with white playing F4 in the near future, but yeah, bishop D2, I quite like your suggestion. Just get all the pieces into the game, rook to D1. There's always the dilemma when to push E5, like when's the right moment. With the black bishop on this diagonal, it's rarely as nice as in other lines where the black bishop is stuck. But here we go, E5 played. E-file bar drops, but it does allow Hikaru to get this kind of King's Indian attack type of structure. E5 pawn, he's going to build around that, maybe H4, H5, like you said, D4. This is going to become a really tense fight with all the pieces on the board.
That's the first thing I thought too, was King's Indian attack, but it's just misplaced. Like literally all the pieces are misplaced. In the King's Indian attack, the bishop should be on G2, the pawn should be on G3 and not a knight, right? So it definitely is reminiscent of that, but it's completely different here. You would have to, even maybe we could reroute this knight on F3 over to G4 and looking for sacking possibilities in addition to H4, H5, but it's all about timing. Maybe H4, H5, knight H2 to G4. And then you have, again, it looks like it's happening in real time. And it just says, what are you doing with your life? But at the same time here, I think as a human, it feels better. H4, H5, knight H2 to G4 maybe.
Yeah. First he plays D4 to solidify his center. That's often the case with the King's Indian attack. Computers are screaming, like, what are you doing with white? And then suddenly, 5 moves later, white's just giving checkmate. Like Bobby Fischer used to do that to his opponents. And
that's right.
Yeah, other strong GMs. So it's... maybe now going to become more of a like French defense / Caro-Kann once these bishops leave the board. Someone's going to take... there we go. White should take the black bishop. And Wesley not playing the most accurate moves here. He might get attacked soon.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the attack coming here. Especially you don't even have to really deal with the E5 pawn as much as you would in a regular King's Indian attack here. So trade of the bishops is possible. But I guess that allows a rook to G8 in some cases sometimes to help defend over there on that side of the board. Bishop takes definitely feels like a better move, or a great move to play. The follow-up is the hard part here. Is do we go with knight H2, or is it just queen E3 or something? Maybe queen E3 now, but it's happening. It's already on the board. Now what is the follow-up? C4.
Wow. Dynamite stuff from Hikaru trying to blow up in the center. It's quite tempting while the king is a bit vulnerable. Like there's always going to be checks on the diagonal, but if there is a trade, black knight gets a nice square. This looks quite pleasant for Wesley again. And whoa, tactics. Knight takes bishop. There's a check.
It's like, oh, his bishop's hanging. His bishop's hanging. Like, of course, yeah, guys. Queen E4 check, Knight G6, I guess, and it takes. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. You don't have to take, though. It's not, you don't have to take on F4 here. So see what Wesley ends up going with. Something B4, and his king is airy. His king is definitely airy. Bishop D2 maybe. He goes for it though. Yeah, I think he's gonna go with this knight G6 thing, or maybe he just goes away. Like whatever. King 8. Yeah, King G8 says the engine. I don't have to damage my structure.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe the black knight comes to B4 afterwards, looking at some forks on D3. Maybe going back to the center. He has to be really quick, Wesley. So before the white knight gets to E4 and then D6, and then it's just game over. It's just GG's.
That is a nasty knight there.
Yeah, needs to be quick. King G8. Blue arrow has to play it. What
What's
he's
he
thinking.
figuring it out? He wants H8 or G8. He's like, which one? G8. Doesn't have queen F4. There's no F7 pawn hanging. Bringing the knight around to D5. 94 is really strong as well, as you mentioned. Rook D1, though, is injured.
Yeah, very natural. Defending the threat of the monster fork on D3. But now,
Nasty.
ooh, taking this pawn just looks like a bit of a detour, right? And the white knight
I
is
mean,
going
it's
to
a
come in
pawn,
soon.
David. Take that pawn, right? I guess maybe Rook C4 kind of traps him.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking about it. What else? He does take it. Greed is
Rook
good.
C4. Hey, Hikaru's like, really? Rook C4 traps the knight. We're going for it. We're going down this line. So it is trapped, but it's not available to be taken yet. Also, the knights are. Oh, he took a second pawn. He's not playing no
Ooh,
games. Whoa.
wow. This is, I was going to say, that's getting scary. Knight e4 was the best computer move, but bishop takes f2 was a check.
I
Winning
was
the
just gonna
rook on
say that.
c4. That would have been
Yeah.
crazy.
And how was that? Oh, I just don't understand how that was correct. Maybe there's like a Rook D8, Knight F6. Oh my goodness, that probably was it. Rook D8, Knight F6. You see that, David? And if King H7, Knight G5, that's gross.
That's.
That's gross.
I just want to
That
show
is
that, James.
incredible.
We'll jump in because there was a cool variation. Now black is better. Wesley so has the advantage. But in order to stop that, Hikaru would have had to play the move knight e4. And like you said, James, bishop takes f2 is a check.
Yeah, I
I'm
wonder if you
assuming
take or not though. Be a part King H1 or something. Yeah, King H2. Yeah, and
kh2
it
and
takes Rook D8. My goodness, or was
oh,
it Knight F6 first?
yeah,
Then
maybe
Rook
rook
D8.
d7 even. Threaten this one.
Oh,
And
even
if rook
better.
f8.
Knight
There was
F6.
also this. There's also this idea just to show your rook d8 check. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Rook takes knight
yeah,
f6
and Knight
check,
F6.
and the queen drops.
Yeah,
And
that's
who knows?
crazy.
Well, let's
It's
get back to the
vicious
game.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
That was
Rook B4
crazy, but
happened. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
wow, we've had some moves, and this is the live position. Okay, this is less crazy, but Wesley's a pawn up again.
Yeah, Wesley's just in a better position. He went pawn grabbing here, and like it worked out, Chad. It worked out. He went pawn grabbing. Rook D7 is a threat.
Hmm. Now queen to a4 keeps the threat. Rook d8 looks like the most. Or queen c6. There we go. Wesley. Oof. Just to see every time he offers a trade, like the bar drops. Same in the previous game where he had the advantage, and his previous black where he was winning. Let it slip. Now this is a slightly awkward pin. Knight a7 is the only way to break it. What do you think? Is Wesley gonna? Is he gonna get it done? Is he gonna choke again and not get the full point?
It's hard to like that last game he lost that he just had no business losing that game. He should have just taken a draw there. It'd be closer instead of a 2-game match, right? It was really tough. So here it's really hard to lose this one. Like he would have to do something crazy. So I think he'll feel a little bit better about this draw in this one. But had 2 pawns, now having 1 should be draw. But we'll see what happens. What's the time situation? Yeah, about even.
Wesley slightly behind on the clock. It does feel like he needs a win at some point, and this is the second time he's had a very promising position pawn up with black. Yeah, I just think he needs to get this, but Hikaru is so tricky. Rook to d2, threatening to come in. That isn't a major threat, though. The black knight can always come back and defend its bishop, so maybe it's time to start pushing. Push the black pawn.
Pushing P over there on the A5. A5, really strong. There it is. Rook A2, Bishop B4.
Yeah.
Or Knight C6.
Yeah, that's a nice square for the black knight. Hikaru's got a small window of opportunity to do something before the black pawn gets to a3. Then it's never going to be captured. It's just going to be too strong. What to do? What to do?
There we go. He said, Big West got this game, says Bernie. Any Wesley So fans in chat? Is this his time? He should have had a draw in the last game, but this is a very, very serious chance for him to win.
Hikaru's moving his rook around. Not really sure what he's threatening here. The question is whether a4 is possible.
It is. It's on the board.
It's on the board. a3 is
A3.
coming. He's
Push.
going to try and put his rook behind, but that shouldn't stop the pawn for long. Feels like sooner or later black will get active and be able to push that pawn forward. How to organize the pieces? Is it rook
Question
c7,
is,
rook a7?
oh, that's so nice. Because I was like, this knight is so ugly on C6. Like, what do you do with it? But that That is a beautiful idea. Rook c7 to a7. Beautiful
But
idea.
now, yeah, now maybe it doesn't work. White can take this knight and then use his own
Knight
knight to
b4.
sacrifice.
Yeah, bishop b4.
Good move.
All right, chat
Knight
says
b4.
J-Wan Wesley. So it's winning this one. Wesley. Chat is rooting for Wesley. What's up,
Yeah,
Fuzzy?
chat just wants a close game, but Wesley, he gives
Oh,
up his a3 pawn. Why? Why would he do that? Just bring the king, king f8, king d7, king e7, king d7. He could have done this at any time, James. He's rushing with these big decisions. He's always trying to seek simplifications, and he lost a chunk of his advantage.
yeah. I think that really comes down to one thing, and that is nerves and time pressure. As he has 17 seconds here, there's some nerves and time pressure, I believe, is what is the cause, because he does have 16, 17 seconds now. He gets that 1 second increment, but once you get low on time, you are facing Hikaru, you just start thinking differently.
Yep. Oh, and some missed opportunities for Wesley, who could have won the h5 pawn if he was more accurate, maybe a knight check, and now he's trying to force a knight endgame. This is a good decision. Still feels like great winning chances for Wesley, so knights are just so tricky. 4 versus 3, probably with best player draw, James, but in practical terms, it must be so much fun for black to play this out.
Yeah, I love what Bob Finnick said about night in games, is that night in games are pawn in games. So just trying to figure out how can I get a winning king and pawn in game with the knights right now. King f6. Nope. Oh, repeat?
Oh,
I said repeat what?
Wesley, but he's got his own king trap there, so he needs to trade off pawns to get the black king out. That is not a good sign. More pawn exchanges mean that Hikaru is closer to safety. Should be a drawish position now. Black's pawns aren't connected. More pawns coming off the board. Hikaru just looks so confident when he defends. He's just so smooth. Doesn't look in any trouble, even though he has these lost positions.
There it is. He's got it. He has found the way to draw it. Bring the king around. Knight in. And now you got to be careful not to lose it. Don't take the be careful. All right,
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
this is easy draw now.
Yeah. And there we go. Smile on the face of Hikaru Nakamura, who gets out of a tricky situation yet again. Wesley still yet to